towards the end of the retreat, I made a comment and I cried in front of 300 people.
Yeah.
And I just talked about how when you're a high achieving woman, people don't know or remember to check on you a lot of the time. You're carrying everything and you look like you got it all together, and people don't know that you're like crushed inside or struggling.
Welcome to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Erin Duffy. Dental Entrepreneur Women is here to dive deep and share stories with the mission to inspire, highlight, empower, and connect all women in dentistry.
Hi, everybody. It's Erin Duffy, and welcome to Dental Entrepreneur Woman, the Just Do It podcast. I am so happy you're with me today, and I'm really excited because I have a new dear friend that's joining me today. She's just amazing, and I want to tell you a little bit about her before we get started. Dr. Erin Sheffield is a board-certified oral maxillofacial surgeon, speaker, podcast host, and founder of the Doctor is All In retreat, where she helps high-achieving women redefine success beyond achievement. Fun fact, she fainted multiple times on her path to becoming a surgeon and became a scuba instructor in the Bay Islands, Honduras, right before dental school. Way to go, Miss Erin Sheffield. Thank you. And thanks for joining us today, Dr. Erin Sheffield. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you today.
It's so cool. I can't believe you did all that before dental school. I mean, that's kind of, you push the limits, don't you, a little bit?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I think so. I'm always doing something.
Always doing something really fun. And it was so great to have you at our retreat last year and knowing your top 5 strengths. We were talking about that before we push play. Communication, activator, woo, strategic, and individualization. And you're running your own retreat now. So perfect, especially with the individualization, because, you know, Erin, you can see each person, how they were uniquely made, and you actually see them. It's unusual to see woo and individualization so close in the top 5.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because woo, you like everybody. Everybody is your friend and all that. So you actually like everybody. Everybody is your friend. You can't wait to meet them, but you also see something special in each one of them. It's a gift.
Oh, that's so cool. I think you're right. Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that cool? And you're very high achieving because you were going to be the Maxim cover and represent all women in dentistry. And we were all excited, all voting for you. And then the crush of, like, if you had more cash in your bank account, you would have won. What the heck is that about? Right?
That was very disappointing. So I say I accidentally joined this competition, and some people are rolling their eyes. Like, what do you mean you accidentally joined it? But my friend, who is also a physician, she got into acting and modeling. And so a few years ago, probably like the first time they were doing this competition, she ended up winning this whole competition. And there was only one competition at this time. Now they have like a bunch of little ones. So she won this thing. And I remember seeing her on the cover. And it was so cool that my friend, the doctor, was on the cover of Maxim magazine. And then I kept seeing her face on Facebook, kept getting all these ads saying, join this competition. It's an over 40 Maxim magazine cover girl competition. And my friend was the judge. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to join so I can kind of tease her about it. And I started filling it out. And I think I put my name and a picture. And then it said something like, add your modeling photos. And I was like, oh,
okay.
If that's what this is, no. And so I left it, and I didn't even know I pushed submit. And next thing I know, I'm getting messages from Maxim, and I'm like, that's what I get for giving them my number. They're spamming me. And then finally I looked at them, and it was like, congratulations, you won this round. Congratulations, you run another round. So I'd won like multiple rounds, not even knowing I was in the competition. So at that point, it was like, well, let's just run with this and see where I go. And so I made it to the 8th and final voting round and was in first place until this lady dumped a lot of cash in the last like 2 minutes. So very frustrating. So I feel like the winner. The best part was just seeing how many people were like excited and coming out for you. Because I don't think, unless it's your funeral, you get to see the people from all walks of life really supporting you. And then it's your funeral, so you don't get to see. So it's kind of like my early wake for myself. And the only thing that died was, the contest.
Oh, I love it. Well, unless they're giving you a big lump of cash for the win, I mean, I guess you did learn a lot. It's super cool to know how many people care about you. I was getting messages. We were like, vote for it. There's double points today. Double points. Get it there and vote. It was just so great. And it was
It
a
was
fun
so
rally for
sweet.
all of us. We were all rallying for you, but that's what
I
sisters do, I
appreciate
guess,
it.
right? I mean, we
Yes,
work
definitely. Well,
together
that
in
was the
that.
best part for sure. I was just seeing like, oh, people care. People I didn't know care and strangers care even. So that part was really
Oh, well, and it's also a nice example for you to like set yourself out there. It's like be a little bit more uncomfortable, if you will. And your kids saw that you went for it and you did go for it. I mean, you didn't just, once you knew you were in the running, you didn't give up. And I'm really proud of you for that.
No,
That just says a
thanks.
lot about character and you were in it to win it.
It
And
was uncomfortable. It was. And, I'm always trying to sell a retreat just because I know how powerful it is. Like your conference,
yeah.
I don't like to think of myself as a salesman. I don't like making the sale, but you got to practice and putting yourself out there. And that rejection feeling is real. And there were people I was posting on some dental forums, and some of them were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
We're voting, or I bought a magazine to support you and thank you and keep us updated. And then there were some people like, this is terrible. What is wrong with you?
Oh,
Why are you
really?
bothering us? And this is not appropriate content for a professional dental page like this, And so it's hard sometimes when you're getting that. And I'm hanging up posters in our surgery center. And I was like mortified because people were in there, doing it like anonymously and no one knows. But when I'm in there, it's like, haha, look at me self-promoting. And that's just not, especially as a woman, something that I think most of us are used to doing is saying, here, this is something that I want and I'm asking for it and I'm unapologetic. And that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but it was definitely a really good learning experience for me.
That's beautiful. There's so many things there, Erin. First of all, the courage it takes, right? And we were happy. I mean, your friends are going to be happy for you. I mean, all the
Right.
naysayers and all that. I mean, that's just, you got to consider the source. No matter when you put yourself out there, we were talking about you have a retreat, I have a retreat. You're going to have some people that come and they don't know, it's not their thing. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay. We love you anyway. And once we get into this, I want to know more about your retreat. When is your retreat? Let's start there anyway.
Yeah, so it's happening February 2027 at the Miraval Resort in Austin, which is
Ooh.
fabulous. It's a reason to go all on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for you, right? And then how many women are you hoping to get into the room?
So we top out at 30.
Okay.
We just have a few spots left. So if anyone is interested in coming, we're almost there. We're almost sold out. And once we get to 30, we're done. And that's on purpose. People are like, wow, when this gets really successful, think of how many people can come and grow. But I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do, though. I've
Yeah.
been to so many of like the mega conferences, and that's what inspired me to do this because they weren't serving me. I go and I show up and I'm in a room full of strangers and you feel kind of like an imposter and you don't know if you fit in or if you deserve to be there. And then they're just talking about things like microfibular free flaps. And that's great for the people that are doing those, but that's such a small percentage and that's not really helping me or my patients. I'm leaving feeling kind of frazzled and bored and overwhelmed
Yeah.
and go back to your practice and just feel like you're behind. And so the retreat I made is more for come and fill your cup and find yourself as a person. Remember who you were before all of your training and all of the caregiving and all of the achievement kind of robbed that who you are, that core childhood self. And then go back feeling like rejuvenated, inspired, and ready to hit the ground running and have a community that can support you and know what it's like and don't feel like that island has to do alone.
Yeah. Boy, you just sound like you sold Duke just now.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
that's why I love
yeah,
what you're doing because it feels so aligned and is so inspiring. And you're doing it on a much bigger scale. You're doing it like 10 times the scale that I am. And that's what I've been so impressed with you is just being able to foster. Because when I went to that, I was telling you before, I went to another big conference and they're saying, come find your tribe. And I felt like it was really cliquey and I felt very othered and I didn't feel like I was brought in. And then so when I went to yours, I had low expectations. And then I was just like, wow, I was just blown away by the camaraderie and the number of women that just seemed to really be excited to meet me and want to help me in my goals. And I was excited and wanted to help them. And I don't know if you heard this story, but it was so powerful for what you're building because towards the end of the retreat, I made a comment and I cried in front of 300 people.
yeah.
And I just talked about how when you're a high achieving woman, people don't know or remember to check on you a lot of the time. You're carrying everything and you look like you got it all together and people don't know that you're like crushed inside or struggling. And when I lost my dad, that was a really hard moment for me. And so then after it was like, people were like, we're having a party. Does anyone want to come? And I had some extra time and I didn't know anyone, but sure, I'd come to this house party and show up and let's go to dinner. And okay, go to dinner again with strangers. And they were like, Erin, we loved what you said. And did you find any support? Because that's what this is all about. And I was like, well, not really. And so that makes me want to cry almost again. I'm such a crier. They were like, well, we'll be your support. And they made this text group and they would like take turns checking in on me, and they still do. And it's been, like 9 months. They'll still, hey, Erin, we were thinking about you. How are you doing? And what's going on? And we're voting for you for the magazine thing. Like it's just so amazing. Like I don't even really know these women, and yet they really came together and did that just out of love. And that's incredible. I've never experienced something like that where strangers are just all so aligned just for goodness.
For goodness.
Share light, that was really, really powerful and a testament to you and what you're building.
Thank you. Thank you. When we started it, I only have two things about do. And it's number one is love, because I was really upset about my friend being bullied and just seeing that in our industry. And then two, strengths, living your strengths, falling in love with yourself again, because you've got it going, girl. Like I look at your strengths and they're just phenomenal in what you're doing. And it gives you an eye on your purpose, I think. It just usually, and obviously, you should be leading a retreat. Is it just for doctors? Is it for dentists?
Yeah, so I originally built it for women in oral surgery. There's just so few of us.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like we really have this, unique challenges behind us, and I wanted to offer support. But other women dentists really resonate, and even physicians or other, anyone really in healthcare that feels called to come is 100% welcome. But it's probably about 50-50 oral surgeons and dentists historically. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the beauty. And one of the beauties of Do is that we have all career paths, which is unique, because I really feel, and I've mentioned this before, that our sterilization woman was the most influential woman in my dental career, right? And so everybody has a place, and even our sponsors are right in it with us, because
I love that too.
We need them. It's beautiful. I just went to a retreat on Saturday. It was at my church, and I just wanted to kind of reset myself. And what was so special was that really all different ages, Erin, similar to what we're doing, the same thing with you, in a room of women. The only man was the photographer, Benny. I know him, and he was the only man in the room, and the same with us. The only man in the room is going to be the AV guy. There's something really special, and I think it's starting to happen. Women coming together and realizing, we're stronger together.
100%.
It's a lovely, loving atmosphere. And my cup was filled over the weekend. I'm not bringing that retreat to Do, because we have so many different religions and agnostics and atheists and all that. But I believe everyone has some higher power, that calling that you get that little nudge from. Right. Why do highest achieving women in our industry struggle so much to invest in themselves, to say yes, right? And what does it actually cost them when they don't?
Oh, I think that's such an interesting question. And I think it's ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm.
I broke my back on Friday. I went in, I fell down my stairs, and I'm crawling around, blacking out, almost throwing up, almost passing out for an hour. It took me a really long time to recover. And I had half a moment of I think I'm okay. So I crawl in my car and drive to work, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up, and I'm a fainter. So I know that means I might pass out. And so it's do I pull over now, or can I make it the minute to work, So I'm there, and then I'm lying on the floor, and my nurse comes out and is like, well, looks like I probably shouldn't start the IV on the first patient. And I'm like, yeah, probably not. So I had to cancel, and I go in and I get a CT scan, all these x-rays and all this stuff. And yeah, you broke 3 vertebrae in your back. And so I call my nurse and I say, hey, it looks like I broke part of my back. Maybe we should cancel clinic for the afternoon.
Yeah, maybe. I love that.
She's like, girl, we already did. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you're smarter than me. But that's so dumb. That's
and you drove yourself to the hospital. Don't call anybody and see.
My assistant took me at that point, but then she drove me back, and then I had to drive back home, So, but that's the perfect example.
Yeah.
You put yourself last. You're not allowed to care about your physical health or certainly your mental health. It's the patient comes first. The team comes first for years. And so we put ourselves last. And then, then a lot of us become mothers. And so there's that part too, where your family comes first and, selfless motherhood and all that, which is great. But I think we learn to put ourselves last and we find so much value in that achievement. That's one thing that's kind of got us reward is like, look at all the things I've done and people are proud of me for doing that it's hard to put it down. And so even something as simple as breaking your back isn't enough for it to be an obvious no.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to untangle. And even for me, this is my platform. This is my whole platform. I build a whole retreat. I spend hundreds of hours planning this thing and talking on social media about it and stuff. And I still, I don't know. And then tomorrow it's like, I have patients. Should I go on to work or not? I don't know. I'm arguing with myself. Can I do it? Should I do it? I don't know. I probably shouldn't, but.
Yeah. When you say probably shouldn't, there's a clue there, Erin.
Yeah, exactly.
But we all wear the Superwoman cape. And I think we want to wear it and we're good at it. And we very seldom ask for help. And when we do, it's just like, oh, would you please help me? Or like, I love saying, oh, I hope they come to the retreat. Oh, I hope they, I'm like, look, if you don't come, you're crazy. If you don't, if you don't do these things, but we know this story, and I know you're a speaker, dear, this story is going to be in the front of the room and you're going to touch a lot of women and men, honestly, with the story, but especially women. I can remember when I went in, I had lung surgery years ago. Nobody really knows about it, but I was incapacitated for 2 months. They thought I had lung cancer.
Oh, no.
Long story short, I drove myself to the hospital. I said, okay, I'm going to take my Christmas cards. I'm just not feeling good. You guys have fun, play. I drove myself to the Remer's. I then drove myself to the thoracic surgeon because Tom was out of town. No one came to visit me because he was traveling. I mean, it's just like, and I was fine with all that. It didn't.
Right. I mean,
but we wouldn't let somebody else do that.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd done the same thing in the middle of the night. I'm like, I think I need to go get checked. And I had postpartum preeclampsia. And I just like drove myself on in. I'm like on my deathbed, but at least I didn't die.
I know it. We're still alive to tell. So I can't wait to hear the talk that you're going to get after you fell down the stairs and broke your back in 3 places. And you're trying to decide, should I go in as an oral surgeon tomorrow? Oh my God.
Well, and it's hard too, because I think there's a level of people pleasing that it takes to get to this point as well. Because you think about like every time you apply for college or for dental school or the residency or the job, I'm the person for the job because I will do what you want me to, And so I think we've just learned to kind of mold ourselves to fit. What does professionalism mean? And who do I have to be for this? And I was sitting there at the desk and we're like, okay, I quickly did a consult instead of doing the surgery. And I'm so sorry. I just don't feel safe to do this. And they were so lovely and like, okay, that's what you want. But then I'm sitting at the desk going, okay, I should maybe I'll go to the ER or the acute care clinic to get checked because I'm really feeling bad. And we're like, what about, let's call the next patient. And of course, the next patient walks in right at that moment.
Oh, golly.
And my nurse is lovely. And I'm so sorry. Doctor's not feeling well. So she's not going to be able to see you after all today. And of course, she's frustrated and no one could call me. And they're trying to, and then I'm like, hi, I'm the doctor. And I am so sorry, but I just fell down the stairs and I'm really hurt and I'm on my way to the ER. So I was really wanting to see you. I came planning to see you, but I am so sorry. And luckily she seemed somewhat understanding, but she's still annoyed. But you know that you're calling the patients that are going, I took today off work. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I would much rather be here and have made some money because I'm losing a lot more money than a lot of people taking off work. Also, I just probably paid $5,000 or $6,000 in CT scans and x-rays and stuff too. So, sir, I would have much rather have seen you than this happen, but it's hard when you have those moments. It makes you, even when you try to stick up for yourself, like, oh, all the people, they'll be disappointed and they'll be mad. And you have to be able to sit with that.
And then I'm sorry. Like I broke my back in 3 places. Lead with that, Erin.
Right. Well, now that I know, it's an easier.
Yeah. Oh, God bless you.
But
not only that we are people pleasing, but people depend on us because women stir the soup. Make the soup first, then we stir it, and then we put it in the refrigerator.
Well, and that's my staff member took me. And they're like, we're just, we knew. And we're all home. She's like, she came to pick me back up, but she'd been home. She's wearing like shorts and stuff. She changed out of her scrubs. And then she was like, well, we're not getting paid either, And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she said, like, no, like she wasn't saying it,
No,
but like
she
to
was,
those
yeah,
people
right,
who are
right.
complaining, and she was like, oh, I'm kind of glad I have the day off. It's fine. But people count on you. The patients
Yeah.
count on you. The community counts on you. Your staff counts on you. And so you're carrying a lot. So we shouldn't shame ourselves for feeling the pressure, but I think we need to give ourselves a lot more grace and to realize we can only carry so much. And when we push too much, like if I work too hard with this Braxton, maybe I can't work even longer. And then that's not
Exactly.
helping people either. So,
And we have to look for permission because now you're waiting for the doctor to call you. You know in your heart that you probably shouldn't work with the broken back in 3 places.
when you say it like that, yeah.
Yeah. But we need permission so that we
100%.
can stay home and do that. Man, well, it says a lot about a woman, but also about our profession because people are planning on seeing us. They have made, their day. You have to be in the chair to do the work. That's a lot of pressure, but you've built a thriving career as a surgeon. You're very well known for a surgeon. But at some point you realized achievement wasn't enough. What was the moment you knew something had to change other than the day you broke your back?
Well, when I look back to residency, I remember I would come home from work and we would have done incredible things, taken someone's face and completely reconstructed it. Someone with trauma, you could be like a 20-hour surgery and they have like 300 plates and screws in their head, like these are big things, saving the day, saving lives, saving faces. And then I'd come home and I'd look in the mirror and realize that my bangs were like smooshed in a funny way because of my surgery cap, or there were dishes in the sink, and I would feel lousy.
Oh.
And I would just feel like terrible. And I'd be like, but the guys, they're all there like, I cured cancer, I'm the boss.
I killed it, yeah.
And I didn't feel that way. And I didn't realize at that point that like my imposter syndrome, didn't realize that's a lot of bravado from them. And maybe they didn't really feel that way too. But since everyone else around me seemed to be with this ego, the stereotypical surgeon ego, I thought there was something wrong with me. And no matter what I was achieving at work, it didn't make me feel good about who I was as a person. I would still find things that didn't seem enough. And so there's always that next rung on the ladder. There's always that next thing to check off the list. And unless you can sit with who you are and love yourself as a person for who you are, then you'll never be able to achieve enough to satisfy. It's an unfillable cup. And so you have to learn to love yourself. And I think a lot of that is being authentic and aligned, make sure that you're making choices that are choices fully made by you and not just what's kind of dictated by you or what, you think you're supposed to do. It's so easy, like in residency, that your attendings just, they almost own you, It's like, okay, you're on shift. You can't say it's my best friend's wedding if you didn't ask early enough, and maybe you won't get off anyway, like the birthdays and the Christmases and the funerals and all the things that you miss that you normally would never, that you just did. And so you get used to doing what other people say and expect of you, and you mold yourself into a box that you were never meant to fit in. And then next thing you know, you don't recognize yourself anymore. So am I working however many days a week because that works for me and my family? Or am I working that many days a week because that's what you're supposed to do to deserve to be a surgeon and have taken that place to be, of someone to be trained? There's just little decisions like that I see people all the time. Or even for my retreat, I remember a woman was saying to her friend that came like, oh, I came a day early and I'm so glad that I came. And she said, well, I would love to take Thursday off and come, but I could not justify it. And we were both like, but you could.
Yeah,
but you could. Same thing, like my back. I can justify taking a day for myself. You're allowed to take vacation. You're allowed to step away. But we feel like we're not.
And it's not even a could or a should, right? It's like, I guess it's why not? And, in the long scheme of things of your life, these little decisions can just eat at you. And so again, you're so young that you're learning this. And as you learn, you're communicating it, and you hope that someone takes a seed of this or a little nugget and they has just a little shift. And it's sometimes it's just a 1 degree shift. What's the big deal of one extra day for you out of the many, 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 many days you're going to work in a lifetime?
Exactly.
And then those are the moments you remember when you get to be my age. Yeah, that was really great. That was, thank God I did that. I flew all the way to Austin and I stayed there an extra day just for me, and just give yourself we have to give ourselves permission instead of asking for permission from other
Exactly.
people, don't we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, Erin, what made you decide to go in oral surgery? Because like, as we were talking, I know Rita Patel is an oral surgeon here in Charlotte, and she comes to the retreat. I love Rita. Very, very few women are in oral surgery. And I'm sure when they see you, they think, oh, you are strong enough to do this. And I mean, when you said you're saving faces, not only saving faces, you're saving lives.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to do the route of oral surgery, which I'm sure was extremely difficult?
Well, I thought it was very interesting, but I didn't think I was a candidate because, as you mentioned my bio, I kept passing out. First time I passed out was in undergrad. I was in a dental exploration class, and this oral surgeon came and he was showing a wisdom tooth surgery video. And I was like, I'm not feeling so good. And at this point, I didn't know the signs of fainting. And so I went in the bathroom thinking I was going to throw up. And I woke up in a puddle of urine because my bladder doesn't hold when I faint, with my legs straight up in the air with some good Samaritan trying to like administer shock treatment for me. And so I got taken away in an ambulance. I'd had a seizure because I hit my head. I went on seizure medication and wasn't allowed to drive for 9 months.
What?
And then I had this ambulance bill for something like $1,200 that haunted me because it got lost like in between my parents' mail and my mail. So like 10 years later in my marriage, my credit score was tanked. So like this stuck with me for a long time. It was a very formative experience. And so I thought, well, it's very cool, but clearly I can't do surgery if I'm a fainter. That was the first, but not the only time that I had kind of similar things. And so I didn't think I was a candidate. And thankfully, some of the oral surgery faculty were like, that doesn't matter. If they had said it mattered, there's no way I would have thought I could do it. But
wow.
Thankfully, they're like, oh, you can get past that. No big deal. And then we did happen to have a woman on faculty, which is so rare. And I remember going to her and just being like, hey, I want to be a mom and I want to have a family. And is this even possible? And she was so good about putting her family first and showing that you could do it. And so that was just really transformative on my journey. And I just felt like I really like dentistry. Like some people specialize because they hate it. I loved it. But once I got into surgery and took out my first tooth, it like lit my fire. And I just felt like this is for me. This is what I'm good at. This is what I love. And if I'm not going to faint, then this is for me. So I just really loved it so much. And I love being able to really be an expert in that area and not just, I hate dentures. So that's a perk.
Oh my God, that's so lovely. I mean, you're living your calling through your surgery, and then also it's broader than that. I mean, all of your experience as a young woman, as a mom and a wife and all those things, daughter. I know about your passing of your beautiful dad, and you take all that with you now to be able to be that person for somebody else that might be struggling, which you got to have a little something underneath you to be able to do that. And beautiful that you'll be able to share that with women that come to your retreat that you're planning.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Well, what do most women, doctors and dentists, because you are definitely a doctor of the oral cavity. What do they get wrong about visibility and social media? And I think you can point back to the whole thing with what you just went through with Maxim and in general, but what's the big deal? What do they get wrong?
A few things. I think you have to have it all together to show up. And so if you haven't got all figured out, that you're not the right person. And one thing I love about social media is that in academics, it's so hierarchical, right? And in the past, how do you get clout or authority in academics? Is through positions, is through research papers, is through how much you can publish or be speaking on the academic stage. You know, you have to have like gone through the rungs and rose up from the different levels of professor and
know the right people and be politically correct and all of those.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you had to be granted authority.
Yeah.
And social media allows you to take that authority for yourself. And that sounds maybe a little bold, but it's been very evident to me just even the last couple of days, because I've been speaking up a little bit more, kind of calling out some behaviors in dentistry that I feel like are kind of toxic. And I made a very bold video, bold even for me, where I said something like very inflammatory, excuse me, but it was like, our patients are right, dentists suck. And the whole point was like, I'm always standing up for dentistry. And when you see these things online and people are like, dentists are all scammers, that's all I see. That's my algorithm. That's what it brings to me. it's really depressing. And I'm always wanting to be the first one to be like, no, they don't. And you just have to understand. But there's just enough of us. There's just enough of us who are scammers or big jerks who are doing junky stuff that then the rest of us have to dig out of that hole. And so I was just trying to call that out. And I honestly thought I was going to get a ton of backlash from that. I was like, this is really risky. And if people don't take this the right way, it could be really bad. But I feel like it's important to say. And I was surprised that 99% of the comments were people like, thank you for saying that. And then some of the things they were saying was like, why are these people even arguing with one of the biggest experts in the field?
Wow.
And I'm like, are you talking about me? Or like our famous friend, or, like they're just using these terms to describe me that.
Wow.
Wait, who are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about me? But to me, that was just this example of like, it gives us the opportunity to build that trust and that relationship, whether it's with your peers or the community. But it's such a missed opportunity. And there's a lot of judgment. And I think most doctors look at it as like cringe. Oh, it's so cringy. And when I got on social media, my marketing team told me to, but my partner was like, ew, I don't think you should be doing that. And that just opens you up to so much. And yeah, there is some risk to it, but there's so many opportunities that have come. And the biggest opportunity I think that people are missing is you don't have to be viral to be valuable. You don't have to have 1 million followers to have an impact. And even in your own community, when a patient comes in and they sit in my chair and they say, hey, I watch your TikTok videos, they already know me. They think we're friends because that parasocial relationship is real. They've seen me talk as an expert, that I know what I'm talking about, that I'm measured response, that I'm compassionate. And so when they come, how much time do I have to spend like building rapport? I already did that. They're already like fresh and ready. And if it's all about like satisfaction and good reviews and treatment acceptance and all of that, we're a mile ahead already. And so there's so many opportunities. That to me is like the biggest thing. But then some of the unexpected things like this stupid contest, or all of a sudden I'm getting people asking me to be an advisor on their board, or they're sending me products and wanting to give me money, or this retreat. I couldn't have built this retreat without social media. My best friends now are probably people that I've met online. So it's opened up so much for me. And I'm not even like super monetizing, or, I'm not making any significant money. It's a big time suck and I'm losing money on all the platforms I'm paying for and stuff at this point, but I've learned and grown and had so many opportunities given to me that I just never could have imagined.
You're using your talents because when you get on, first of all, you're very authentic, and that you see on social media. You can see that, you can feel that. And so just the trust that you're building, like we say, keep doing you, Erin, because whatever you're doing is working. And you're right. A lot of times we know that if we see somebody in person that we've seen on social media, we're not sure if we've met them in person or not. If we get 99% good stuff, even I'll take 95% because, everyone's going to have a hater.
Oh, for sure.
But 95% is better than being in your own little circle with a lampshade on your head or your bushel basket on your head and not being your true self. So you were called to this platform for reasons, and not everybody's called, not everybody's successful, but you're doing it and you're doing a great job. And as women, we have to quit wondering if we're doing. When do you quit wondering if it's going over, right? To like knowing. And that's why you need your dues, your women at your retreat. That's why we need each other. And we like our men. I think it's really hard to do things when you don't have that support, especially if you're married, if you don't have the support from a spouse on that or a partner. Those are all things, men, if you're listening to this, support us. We're just trying to do what we feel is right and just and help people. And honestly, almost every woman I know is always trying to help people get from point A to point B in a very selfless way, especially in dentistry. You wouldn't go through all of that. It's not easy. Well, how many years did you study from bachelor's all the way through to graduation of oral surgery and your internship or residency?
It was like 13.
13 years. Nobody does that unless they really want to help. And I also think this, and we know this about women, it's always more than money.
Oh, yeah.
Money is always at the bottom. Like you were saying, I hate to sell. Until you realize that it is so priceless what you have to offer And I think that's something that we all have to come around. And for us, for 10 years, yeah, it's priceless. And I say this, and Erin, I hope this helps you with your retreat and you're close because we still have lots of seats open, but we know we will sell out. I know that whoever is in the room is supposed to be there, and whoever is not is supposed to not be there. I believe that with all my heart because we open up our hearts. We open up our lives. We're trying to serve in the way that we've been called to do. So that's where I think women are just amazing. I really do.
We are. Yes.
We are strong.
I agree.
We are strong. Well, you are certainly strong. And I'm telling you, if anybody is listening to this and would like to weigh in on whether Erin, we should have a poll. Should Erin go to work?
Yes,
tomorrow?
Please let me know because I'm still battling on it.
Yeah, so she's still battling and she's got to get permission from her doctor for the back doctor and all the CT scans, like whether it's going to hurt or hinder her for a lifetime of oral surgery, because we know dues don't retire. We love it. We start and don't stop. And until the body, you're not going to retire until the body lets out. And let's hope it doesn't happen next week, Erin.
I know.
Okay.
Yes, good point.
Yeah. So we will be thinking of you. And if anybody's listening to this and wants a mega star now, she was just this close of being on the cover of Maxim and winning that because of all the people that love her and voted for her. If you would like Erin to help you with whatever you're doing, whether it's getting a product to market or being lifted up through her retreat or her magic, how do we get in touch with you?
Well, probably the easiest way to find me is on social media. I'm most active on Instagram right now at Dr. Erin, DrErinSheffield. You can also find me on the Resting Stitch Face podcast, which is kind of everywhere you listen to podcasts, or DoctorsAllIn.com.
DoctorsAllIn.com. This will all be in our show notes. I love you. You're just an absolute fabulous. I'm so glad. Thank you. Shout out to Jessica Emery for encouraging you to come to do, at the retreat I was just at, it was the invitation, an invitation. So if anyone has been to your retreat or been to our retreat, invite someone that will get something out of it. Don't keep it to yourself, ladies, because together we are so much stronger and we do small things with great love. Oh, Erin, I love this time together. I'm glad I got to see you. I'm going to be checking in on you. Definitely at the end, end of the week. I'll pray for discernment on your part.
Yes, thank you.
Because you're an activator. You're like, damn it, I'm going to,
I know.
For that. But yeah, I'm going, I can do it. No, I will pray for discernment for you.
Strategic. I'm sure if I just take time off today and rest, I'll be able to make it work.
Lucky for me, strategic doesn't even show up on my strengths until like number 11. Okay, so I'm never thinking, I'm always doing. And most importantly, everyone that's listening to us today is remember to just keep doing you. And thank you, Erin, for being with me. You're an absolute doll. I can't wait to see you in November, if not before.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Ann Duffy. To learn more about dental entrepreneur women, to share your story, or to join the movement, please visit our website, do.life. That is DEW.life. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app to make sure you don't miss an episode. And in the meantime, keep doing you.